America, a country with the largest economy in the world. A country where billionaires launch rockets into space and celebrities live in mansions worth hundreds of millions. A country where malls are overflowing with products and fast food is available on every block. But go behind the glowing lights, take a turn off the highway, walk past the tall buildings, and you'll find something else. You'll find entire rows of tents, not a camping ground, not a protest, not a music festival. These are homes. For hundreds of thousands of Americans, a fabric tent and a patch of concrete is all they have left. The tent cities are growing. From California to New York, Florida to Oregon, Washington to Texas, urban sidewalks, underpasses, parking lots, alleyways are now makeshift neighborhoods of the forgotten. This is not a third world crisis. This is not far away. This is America. And this is what happens when a society fails its people. Most people think homelessness is a choice, that someone just gives up one day and decides to sleep in the streets. But that's not true. It usually starts with something small: a missed rent payment, a medical bill, a lost job, a broken relationship, a car breakdown that keeps someone from getting to work. These problems add up. Suddenly, a person can't pay for rent. They get evicted. Friends and family might help for a while, but that runs out. Then they sleep in their car, then the car gets towed or breaks down. Then, with nowhere else to go, they buy a tent. And that's how it begins. It could happen to almost anyone. And in today's economy, it happens faster than you think. If you've never seen a homeless encampment, imagine this: a long sidewalk lined with tents. Some are big and blue. Others are patched with old tarps and blankets. There are shopping carts full of clothes, buckets filled with water, makeshift kitchens made from crates and hot plates. People sit outside smoking, talking, reading, waiting. Some are alone, others are in couples or groups. Children sometimes peek out from inside the tents. Dogs lie quietly next to their owners. It's not just a place to sleep. These tents become their homes, their only place to feel even a little bit safe. There are no bathrooms, no kitchens, no heating, no running water. When it rains, everything gets wet. When it's cold, people shiver all night. When it's hot, the tents become ovens. This is the reality. And more Americans are living like this every day. Who lives in these tents? Not just the people you might imagine, not just addicts, not just mentally ill, not just lazy or dangerous people. You'll find single mothers, people with full-time jobs, disabled veterans, college graduates, teenagers kicked out of their homes, seniors on Social Security. Some grew up in foster care, others escaped abusive households, some were released from jail or prison and have nowhere to go. You'd be surprised how many people living in tents were once just like anyone else. They paid rent, paid bills, had a car, ate out sometimes, watched TV, then life hit them hard, and the safety net wasn't there. Life in a tent is about survival. There's no privacy, no security. Everything you own can be stolen in seconds. People get robbed, they get assaulted. Women face constant threats. Elderly people get sick without help. Some stay up all night to guard their things and sleep during the day. Others hide their medicine or ID under their clothes to avoid theft. Trash piles up because there's nowhere to put it. Food spoils because there's no fridge. People go days without bathing because there are no showers. And when someone gets sick, there's usually no help. Hospitals don't treat them unless it's an emergency. Clinics are far away or full. So people get worse. Wounds become infections. Coughs become pneumonia. And slowly, they fade. Cities don't know how to handle tent communities. Some look the other way. Others try to clean up the streets. Police arrive early in the morning. Sanitation crews follow. They tell everyone to pack up and move. If someone's not there, their tent might be thrown away, along with their clothes, their documents, their medication, and their memories. These are called sweeps, and they happen every week in some cities. But here's the problem. There's nowhere for people to go. So they move a few blocks down, set up again, wait for the next sweep, and the cycle continues. Move, pack, lose everything, start over. People often say, "Why don't they just go to a shelter?" Shelters aren't what most people imagine. Some are full, some are dangerous, some separate families. Many have strict curfews and rules. No pets allowed, no partners. You have to leave early every morning and come back in line each evening. There's no place to store belongings, no privacy, no space. Some people are assaulted or have things stolen in shelters. Others are traumatized by being in close quarters with strangers. And if someone has a mental illness, PTSD, or addiction, shelters might not work for them. For many, a tent feels safer. It gives them control. It gives them peace, even if it's on a sidewalk. It might surprise you to know that many people living in tents actually have jobs. They clean buildings, wash dishes, stock shelves, deliver food, work construction. They get up early, fold up their tent, change clothes, and go to work like everyone else. But after their shift, they don't go home. They go back to the street. Their paycheck is not enough to rent an apartment, not in today's market. In cities like Los Angeles, New York, Seattle, or Austin, rent can take up an entire paycheck, sometimes more. So they do the best they can. They work, they try, they survive. Homelessness is not just about addiction or mental illness. Those are factors. But the real cause is simple. There's not enough affordable housing. Rent prices have exploded in the last 10 to 15 years. Wages have not. In many cities, even a person working full-time at minimum wage cannot afford a one-bedroom apartment. And once someone is evicted, their credit score drops. That makes it even harder to rent again. Low-income housing programs exist, but the waiting lists are years long. Years. So people live in tents, because there's no other option. Yes, many people in tents suffer from mental illness. Yes, many struggle with addiction. But here's the truth. Those issues get worse on the street. Living without a home makes everything harder. If you already have anxiety or depression, living in a tent with no safety or privacy can push you to the edge. If you already use drugs, being surrounded by addiction with no help in sight makes it worse. But these are not the cause of homelessness. They are symptoms of a broken system. People don't end up in tents because they're addicts. They become addicts because they've lost everything. What happens when we ignore the people in tents? The crisis grows. Crime goes up, disease spreads. Cities spend millions on police, cleanups, and emergency care. But we don't solve the problem. We just push it around. It would actually cost less to house people than to keep them on the streets. Studies have shown this. Emergency room visits, jail stays, court fees, shelter beds, and police involvement add up quickly. Permanent housing paired with support saves money and lives. This problem is not impossible to fix. Other cities and countries have done it. One solution is housing first. That means giving people a safe place to live before trying to solve everything else. When someone has a home, they can breathe, they can shower, they can get a job, they can attend therapy, they can rebuild. It works, but it requires serious investment, real money, real effort, tiny home villages, supportive housing, rent control, mental health services, job training, drug treatment. We need it all, and we need it now. Let's be clear, a tent is not a home. It's a last resort, a temporary shield against the wind and rain, a small corner of space in a society that has pushed people out. These tents are not a solution. They are a sign, a warning, a sign that America is failing its people, a sign that we have forgotten what it means to take care of each other. But it doesn't have to stay this way. We can choose to care. We can choose to act. We can choose to say, no one in this country should live in a tent. Not now. Not ever.